Whoa. Whoa.
Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions, he loves to sing. Join our Discord and follow him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you're in the world. Captain Coder here on this beautiful day. Thank you for the hat, Redeem. Let's get a hat started. How's this one? How's my eye, Brambles? I'm sorry, I got your eye. I should, there's a clip of me saying, oh my eye. I should get that clip. We should turn that into it. Searles, how do you like this hat? How's this hat for you? Tony with another hat. Let's get another hat added to this stack. Oh man, my volume's cranked up in my headset today. I got a new headset. It's a new headset, same as the last, but now I have two because my other one was falling apart a little bit. It's the same one. It's actually the it's the newest edition. It's the Shocks. My last one was the Aftershocks. You can't see it there, not there. I love the change of hat. Let's do it. Yeah. How long did the first one last? They still work. It's just I sleep in them. They actually still work. They're just fine. I still sleep in them. I just noticed that there's a little bit of wear on them. At some point, there's like a little crack. Maybe my dock cam will work better. Let me see if I can do my dock cam. Yeah, I love the bone conduction headphones. 1 second. I have a dock cam here. Can probably see a little bit better on the dock cam. That did nothing. Let's try again. First try here. Yeah, I love these. So these ones here, you can see broke a little bit, and so I ended up getting another pair. So these are the older ones. I sleep in them, so it's probably a little bit too much. So I just wanted to have a pair specifically for my computer, and then these ones are connected only to my phone. So I could have two separate ones. I like them that much that I got a second pair just because I was worried about these ones breaking because I sleep in them, and so I want to make sure I don't have one that breaks. Surprisingly, these ones I think have a higher sound quality, so I have like an older version. So these ones I had for 2 years. I think at 2 years here, they still work. These ones are brand new though. I absolutely love these. I love these so much. They're fantastic. How long did the first? I still want to get those bone conduction shocks. Come after the Aftershocks. That's right, mostly Maxie. Maxie, welcome back to the stream. It's great to see you. You're up early or you're traveling. I hope your travels are going well, my friend. Got to get some shocks. That's right. Dev Mashup, welcome back to the stream. Michael, I hope you've been well, my friend. It's crazy. Hugh, I know, right? I hated headphones. Cyril, what I tell people is it sounds like there's a radio. It sounds like there's a radio on in the room. Dev Mashup, congratulations on your number 15. So rather than having headphones in your ears, here's the thing that's about, they don't go in your ears, they don't go over your ears, they sort of rest on your ears. They're bone conduction, so it vibrates against your skull, and you hear it that way. So you can still talk with people just fine, you hear everything around you just fine. But it's sort of like there's a background noise in there. And then the other thing that's crazy is no one can hear them. No one else. So like, I can't hear anything. If I touch them, I have them on low enough that I touch them, I can't even feel the vibration. Like voices in your head, exactly. That's right. Can you hold them against the microphone? Let's see what happens if I hold them against the microphone. Can you hear them? I'm holding them against the microphone right now. Let me crank them up.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna crank them up. Here, I'm worried I'm gonna mess them up because then they vibrate. So if I turn them up all the way, they start vibrating. Here, now that they're up all the way. No, still can't hear them against the microphone. So they're pretty cool. It's the same music that you guys are hearing, and I know you can't hear them. I should. It's not helpful. It's not helpful, but it's the same sound. It's the music that you guys hear. So like, I have them set to my monitor on my my stream, so I can hear what's going on. Not Shaddam, welcome, and hello everyone. WebDev here. I want to get into game now. Is there any popular YouTube Godot tutorials which will help a beginner? Thank you. Yeah, the Brackeys ones, I haven't done them personally, but I've heard fantastic stuff about the Brackeys tutorials, and I've been learning game dev myself for about 18 months. I just started getting into Godot. I'm really enjoying it, but Brackeys, everyone tells me the new Godot tutorial by Brackeys is a fantastic place to start. I will say I haven't done it yet, but a solid starting point. Okay. Beginner tutorial. Here, this one here is, I would probably start, if you don't have anywhere else to start, I'd probably do this. Jackie Codes, closed the wrong window. Jackie Codes also has a Udemy course that I think either just came out or is just coming out. Let's give a shout out to Jackie Codes. Jackie Codes is a streamer here on Twitch who is, yeah, she is releasing a Udemy course. She either just released it or is about to release it. And I'm gonna actually talk to her about getting some licenses for it. Let's see here, does she have it? She has some great YouTube tutorials as well. Let's get her YouTube page. It's not specifically making a whole game, so hers are doing little tiny things, or a bunch of different things. Here's YouTube, Jackie Coates. Very good. If Smab approves of it, then that means it's actually probably solid. I haven't read it. I haven't watched it yet. Let's see here. She got a Udemy listed here. It must not be out yet. I know it's coming out soon. So I hope that's helpful. Jackie Codes is fantastic. Redbird, welcome back. Smab, great to see you. Not Shaddam, I hope that was helpful. Another resource, I'd say join the Discord. The thing that I think will help beginners the most is starting to work on a project and sharing what you make, even if you don't think it's that good. Share what you've made so far, and then get feedback on it. Get people to help you out. Yes, Zaft. We're doing a solo dev game jam. It's coming up. Non-profit, NPC, Practical NPC, and I are hosting a game jam here in August. Here's a link to it. I need to make a command for this, but coming up here, the solo game jam, number 4, solo dev game jam. So it's a solo one here. Tasknady, right now, I'm trying to get my UI to be able to be used by controllers. It's a little tricky, yeah. That UX experience is tricky. You're using Godot, Natty? Is that what you're using? You're using Godot? But welcome in, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. So wonderful to be here with all you beautiful people. You beautiful people are wonderful. And it's so great to have you here. It's so great to have you here. If I missed something in chat, feel free to copy, paste. I try to read them all, but I miss them sometimes. I'm so alone. This is just a normal game jam for me. Blatant sarcasm, Infinitana. Yeah, the solo game dev is coming up here. We're going to have a new mechanically challenge coming up at the end of the month. If someone decided to do portals, you still have time until August 1st to submit these. Solo in short, sign me up. Zaf, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, so I've been wanting to do one that was a little bit more, I don't know what to say, competitive, but a little bit more strict, not necessarily for beginners. And Practical and I had been talking about doing this since January. Finally got our stuff together, put it together. Gonna be August 26th, right before I go back to school, 23rd through the 26th. So I hope you guys will consider joining it. Good stuff. Let's make a command for it real quick. Let's make a quick command for it. Sweet. Yeah, I'm a little burnt out on game jams currently. Yeah, we do. This is the grumpy game dev mug. Yeah, it's a little bit fancy. Look at that one there. It's one of my favorite mugs. Not as fancy as the other ones. Yeah, I've been trying to switch them out a little bit daily. Okay, let's add in so we don't need to learn you again. New preset. Let's duplicate this one though. Learn you a game jam, duplicate. We're gonna make this solo game jam. Okay. Get ready for boop. Hang on. Get ready for Solo Game Dev Jam number 4. A 72-hour week jam where you are challenged to make a game solo. Hosted by the Captain Coder and Practical NPC. Be sure to check it out. All right, here we go. There we go. And so this is a solo game jam here. Let's make it show up automatically under our promo. Run a random effect. Let's duplicate this. And then this one is gonna run our solo game jam. Save that there. And then I wanna update my game jam command here to run solo game jam. There we go. Now we can do game jam. Kovalaki, welcome back to the stream. Great to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Alrighty. There we go. Easy peasy, got it up, got it running. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hard T. Welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. We only like expensive viewers here, Zaf. No, we got it. All viewers are welcome, but I already have the best viewers. We're not cheap. You're just awesome. You're not cheap. You're awesome. Smite, we bring them down. We are luxury here. Got the luxury viewers. That's right, Tony, luxury. What solo game jam? Yeah. Yeah, solo dev game. Yeah, jam, yeah. Oh, hey, I just noticed, just started streaming. Yes, I did just start streaming Dev Mashup. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Less than 20 minutes yet. We just got in here. 15 minutes in here. So I normally start streaming 4 a.m. local. It's 4:15 a.m. local. It's hot. Hang on, folks. I think my air conditioner, but none of us can afford the Lambo. You're almost, Michael. You know, the thing that I'm surprised you guys haven't pulled your resources together for it. It's 4 a.m. local, yeah. So you want to see if I hit the enhance button and turn off my. That's hilarious, and it turns off my mic as well. We're back. I'm gonna have to figure out that. That's funny. So you know what's going on there. Remember, people were telling me there was like a double audio problem. There's a double audio problem, and it's because, I know why now. The audio source is on this, this scene. There's like a double scene that I have down here. And so the audio source that's coming from this video, if I turn it off, it doesn't come through on the audio caption. So apparently I had fixed that at some point, and that created the double audio problem. Have a way to grab the row and column of a control inside of a grid control. So do you know how to get a row and column inside of a grid container? It's a good question. We're going to want to be able to do something like that when there's something I want to do with a grid in my game. So maybe we could look at that today. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Also, Siler Atomic, welcome back to the stream. How's your game going? Siler, what have you been working on? You've just been working on your game, working in an Unreal Engine, folks. If you want to watch an impressive game dev in Unreal Engine, be sure to go check out Siler Atomic. Absolutely incredible human being, incredible streamer. Go check him out. It's going well, thank you, glad to hear it. If you got any updates, got any links, got any screenshots for us, feel free to send them our way. I have 10 controllers in a grid container, and I want to know which row and column a specific controller is. Modulo math is sometimes modulo math, modulo arithmetic. That's good for you. It's good for you. It builds character. Lance, I'm definitely thinking of joining the solo dev jam. If there is time, I can't promise, but I'll keep my eye on it. Yeah. I hope you'll consider it. If you have some time, go for it. dip my head into HTTP servers by trying to integrate Firebot with Godot. Let's go. Ooh, Tawny, let me know how that goes. That sounds really interesting, actually. That sounds really interesting. I've been considering doing something similar, but not necessarily with Godot, but writing a server running some C# stuff, so that way I could write my add-ons to my, basically extend Firebot with a C# server, so I can write C# scripts on there. You've got enough character, let's do it, Natty. Let's go. All right, so some things I learned yesterday. Also, Maxi, I saw you posted, you're thinking about doing a little bit of game dev stuff in Godot. Let me know. I'm learning Godot myself. Let me know if you want to do a collab sometime. Because I would love to try and figure out, I love doing collabs, and so let me know if you're interested in doing one. We might do one. I inspired you. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. You inspire me. So, fun little thing that I learned, and this is super interesting. The animation trees. But did you get another hat on? I have 2 hats. Lance. Let's do another one just to make sure. It's a little bit hard to see. I usually like to start with one of these so that you can really see when I put it on. I do have 2. I may have missed one. Let's do a third one just to be sure. Let's get a third hat on the stack. There we go. Captain Collab himself. That's true. I remember a comment left on a video long ago, all game developers who make content will inevitably end up developing their own libraries, and it holds true to this day. It does. So, something I learned about animation trees. So there's some really cool things about the animation trees that I like. So let's look at how my Neanderthal is animated. So we have my Neanderthal here. My Neanderthal uses an animation tree. Oh, Captain Enosa, I'm so excited for tomorrow's takeover. Folks, thank you so much for reminding me. Tomorrow, I'll love you forever. Tomorrow. I don't know why that tune, I can't get the, I'm sick, so I can't hear it. How does it go? I might have to look at tomorrow. I can't. Oh, well, forget it. Tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming over on Godot Engine Official. So be sure to be following Godot Engine Official. I'm going to be streaming over on Godot Engine Official tomorrow. Do it for the takeover on Wednesday. We are going to be creating a class project live on stream on Godot Engine Official. About 4 hours in about 20 hours. We hope the captain on their channel. That's right. I'm doing the takeover. I'll be taking it over. It's mine. They're gonna make me give it back, but I'll be over there tomorrow. Super excited for that. In about 20 hours. So midnight my local time, 700 UTC. Coaxed with the hat and the bonus hat. Let's get one hat. Let's get 2 hats. Thank you for the hats. Let's go. I remember when you said, I am Godot. It's real now, Infinitani. I am Godot. Redmere with 100,000 points. Amazing, my friend. Okay. So remind this on Discord tomorrow. Please, someone remind me on this. And I'll be, if you want to know exactly when, I will be doing a live stream on Discord when I'm going live over there. Godot, not Godot. Is it really pronounced Godot? Yes, Godot, not Godot. Either's really fine, but the official pronunciation is Godot. Go sub dog, Fuel Snapple, exactly. Godot. You know, you say it what's the way that's easiest for you. I've always said it Godot. I used to call it Godot. For many years I called it Godot until I got onto Twitch, and then people started saying, no, it's Godot. It's Godot. Godot. Interesting. All right, so I discovered some interesting things about the animation tree. So here is, it's all about, not all about, but subtrees here. I didn't find a way to do triggers like I wanted. That's okay. I didn't find ways to do triggers the way I wanted to. I did find I wanted my enemies to have individual speeds associated with them. And so in our animation tree, I created this subgraph here for our move. Okay, so here's our subgraph for move. How do I get this thing to play down here? Do I have to go back up here and hit move like that? All right, so this is the animation going back and forth, and then I have this time scale here. So I want it to move based on the enemy's speed, so that it's either slower or faster. Slower or faster based on their speed. The interesting thing that I found, if I go into my script here, so I have my Neanderthal animation behavior, I need to use the string thing here to set this value. So it's in parameters, move, timescale, scale. So root here, parameters, I want to set the value of something. I need to go move, timescale, scale like this. Okay. And I want to set it based on my animation speed. I found this caused some really funky issues. Yeah, this is a little bit tricky here. This feels a little bit tricky here. Jax Builds, thank you so much for the follow. Jax Builds followed me, and I gotta say thank you. Thank you so much for the follow, Jax. Welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday. Welcome in. Welcome aboard. What are you doing? Animation blending. Yeah, so I'm learning a little bit about Godot. I'm learning a lot of bit about Godot, actually. But I'm learning about this here, the animation. I want each of my enemies to have an animation based on their movement speed. So we have this basic animation I've made here, like this. So it's sort of this top-down animation. But I want it to be based on the enemy's speed. All right, so you'll see I have accomplished that here. So each one is actually animated slightly different speed. Each one's a little bit different speed based on the speed that they're moving. So these guys that move towards me faster are actually wiggling faster. This guy's moving slower, so it wiggles slower. Something that was really interesting about this is by default, this variable here is static. It's global. It's shared between all of them. It's shared between all of the different instances. And that was an interesting surprise to me that I discovered. And I'm not exactly sure. So over here in resources, you can set it to be local to the scene. I'm not sure I need this one on. This one by itself on this specific one did not work alone. The animation tree needs to be one. So I find this really interesting. I find this very interesting. So it's actually making a duplicate copy of the animation tree and using a different instance. This is a concern to me. I want to know someone who knows a little bit more about internally what's going on. I would like for it to be one tree that it uses, but be able to make just this one variable a local instance for each individual. That doesn't work. So if I turn this local instance off here on the animation tree, you'll notice they all start syncing, making things local to scenes when resources are involved. Yeah, so I have to do it for all of them. So you'll notice they all end up getting stuck on the same one here if I don't do that. And they eventually move to like this weird idle state, and then it start conflicting with each other. So I do have to do this. I'm curious about this here. It looks like a hunter's assassin. Jax, it's supposed to be like a Neanderthal caveman character from the top down. Thank you, I appreciate that. And Push Toy, welcome back to the stream. It's wonderful to see you. Sidian, congratulations on your number 22. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for being here. So this was something that was really interesting to me that I have to turn on here. And I actually don't think in my animation tree, I actually don't think that this local one needs to be local. Let's try it here. I hadn't tried turning this off yet. Yeah, that these ones internal don't have to be local. So I'm trying to understand internally what exactly this is doing. Internally what exactly this is doing, I'm not sure. But I want to go back through and turn off all these, which I ended up turning on. And I only need, because I was trying to figure out, wait, what's going on with this? Did I turn it on idle? I did. There's an issue with idle. I only need it on the topmost one. My fear here is that it's actually, if I have like a really complex tree, it duplicates that complex tree everywhere, which feels like not the best implementation, but I'm not 100% sure, so we'll have to figure it out. Anyway, if you ever run into a problem with that, I believe in Godot to optimize that. So one of the cool things here, oh, hang on. Now they're all using the same one. Or we got really unlucky. Let's try restarting here. Oh, that's interesting. They're all synced up again. So I can't just do the top one. I don't understand this. Does Godot support ECS? You can manually do it. So Jax, there are some plugins that will allow you to do it. I manually do it here. So I put all of my behaviors on their own nodes here and then connect them up. You don't have to use ECS. ECS stands for Entity Component System. So for example, Unity, it uses specifically an entity component system in there as their built-in way of running their engine. So it's sort of a one way that it's commonly used to make games for separating how your behaviors work. So you'll notice all of my behaviors are broken into their own separate scripts and attached here. These would be my components. My Neanderthal is my entity. And so the Neanderthal is made up of a various series of behaviors that cause it to do so. Your engine also uses ECS. Gotcha. Do you have your own custom engine? I'll have to dig, but I think there was something about making animation settings unique somehow. We'll see if I can find that link on Discord. If I do, I think it has to do with 3D skeletons though. Not sure if the same applies to 2D. I'd love to know. Dylan, welcome back to the stream. We are doing some Godot. I think you can use ECS, but you can also use thousands of objects in the tree as well. Yeah. And one thing that I've seen a lot of people do is on their individual, they'll put one big script with lots of different things in it. And that is okay. It's all, and use inheritance to sort of separate it down. Depends on what you're doing. It depends on your design, and any way that you can make it work is an okay way to do it. It comes down to managing complexity. I personally find using an entity component system to make things a little bit easier for myself to manage. So I'm a little confused here. Do I need to make this move local? Let's try this here. Now it's so hard for me to tell. Let me make these guys. I broke it. You're working on your own game engine, stuck in shadow rendering. Let me know if I can help. Let me know if anyone can help. If you want to join the Discord, some people might be able to help you over there. It might be a little bit, too specific. Yeah, Captain Anosa, I highly recommend just understanding what Entity Component System is, what it does. Are these guys all synced together now? All right, hang on. The way I checked this out before, let's turn off the actual move and slide here. They're all synced up now. What did I do? Do I really have to turn these on everything? There they go. Now they're separate. that is the idea, Push Choi, is that you're trying to make a general framework that allow you to manage the complexity of having different objects do different things. And so if you want to, a lot of game engines, so Unity uses it, game engines will often use it just because it happens to be, a pretty solid solution when you don't know what you're going to make down the line. So if you know your game design document ahead of time and you know exactly what you want it to be and you're not sure and you know that you're not going to be making any changes to it, entity component system might be overkill. There we go. So this is interesting. I do have to, I don't know which of these I actually have to have this on. Is it just animation? Is it all of these? I keep having to choose. I really want to understand what exactly this is doing under the hood. Captain is so based as usual. What makes me based? What did I do that was based? Okay, so I don't need that one. Is it that each of their individual animations? All right, they're all in sync now. So this one needs to be, I don't understand this. Why would it be this animation and not this time scale? Let's go up here. Do I need this? All right, let's make sure it's working here. All right, so definitely working. Let's make this one not local to scene. So we do need to recursively set that. So like, I do need this to be local to scene, and then I do need this to be local to scene, and I do need this to be local to scene. So I'm wondering if I need to actually make, if the best practice would be to make everything local to scene. That feels off to me. I think local to scene allows each engine of the scene to do its own thing that might lessen the amount of resource sharing between objects, allowing the animation to look after themselves. So that's what I'm going for. That's exactly what local share says. It makes the resource separate. It duplicates the resource. So here's the question I have, Lance. Here's the question I have. Why do I need to make this resource local? All right, so this resource on the animation tree needs to be local to scene. This one needs to be local to scene, and this one needs to be local to scene. The thing that's curious to me is that the time scale doesn't need to be local to scene. I feel like the implementation feels weird. I feel like there should be one tree. All right, so I feel like there should be one tree, and then each of their own so one tree object here with each. So my question is it actually duplicating all of these nodes everywhere on each instance? You could do it where you have one tree. So it's like one tree that's set up here. And then the thing that's actually local is where you happen to be inside of that tree. And so that is the part that's interesting to me, that's fascinating to me. Because shouldn't this animation tree actually already be local? Yeah, so it's a resource here. So I'm just trying to understand under the hood what's happening. Why do I have to have this turned on? Because I would expect there to be something called animation tree. It's weird because by default, all of your animations for all of your characters, all your creatures, whatever, all your enemies, all your entities are going to be synced together doing the exact same thing. That's the part that's so weird. Why would you have that be the default behavior? But it references non-unique and non-local IDs, then it should be a singleton. Yeah, so it's just fascinating to me that the default behavior of an animation tree is that if you have multiple things using the same animation tree, they are all going to sync exactly to the same thing. So I feel like I must be doing something wrong. That's not intuitively, that feels not the way I would expect. That feels not what I would expect it to do. But maybe I am, but I don't come from a game dev background. So it's just surprising to me So I can imagine you want, at least my goal here is, I want to have these enemies with different animation behaviors, and I want to have lots of them. I'm fairly confident that is just accidental, just a side effect of how resource work in general. No, like someone designing the animation tree supposed to have this. Okay. And so then I should be turning local. So for what it's worth, I couldn't find any explanation of this in the documentation. And I just was noodling my way through all of these things here. And I realized, oh, these things are all synced together somehow. And then I found this local to scene thing here. And that's when I realized, oh, this is super interesting. Anyway, I'm glad I have this button that I can turn it on here. Text file of the scene, you'll see what local to scene does. Okay, so I should look at the text file here for the Neanderthal. That's sprites, enemies, Zap, let's take a look. Showing file manager. Much with animations or animation trees yet. We'll tinker once I'm off shift. I do recall being able to do 3D models to operate animations independent of one another. So I could trigger one object to drop landing gear, but the other did not. We're using an animation tree. So this only happens as when I start using an animation tree. The animation players work fine separately. It's also super common that you have to mark them as local. Yeah, let me take a look here. Luna, welcome back to the stream. How is Luna? Great to see you again. Okay. This is our animation tree. Okay. I don't quite... I'm good still, thanks. Glad to hear it. It feels strange to me to have this be how animation trees work. Doing most of the time, I think that it's due with uniforms. Godot 4, we now have instance uniforms. What am I looking at here? Zap was saying this will make sense if I look at the difference. Let's make it not local. See, local to scene. $286. I actually am not seeing much of a difference. I need to look at the diff, I suppose. Local. The only difference that I see is it adds this line here. That's the only difference I see, Zaft, when I said a resource local to scene. So I'm not sure that this is helpful to me. I feel like I know what it's doing. I feel like I know what it's doing when I hit run and why it works. It feels like a strange... It feels non-intuitive to what I'd expect an animator to do. Something that uses... I would like for them to use the same resource tree, but maybe internally it is and it's doing something smart. I don't know. All right, so but that's what I learned yesterday. Or that's what I discovered yesterday. So I have these guys moving around different speeds, and let me come here and fix my script. My Neanderthal, my chase player behavior. The move and slide behavior, I also don't quite like how this works. Compared to what I'm used to, I feel like I'm gonna have to write my own movement, simple physics thing here as well. I'd prefer not to. So one thing that you'll note, see how these enemies sort of like glitch. They have these like moments of sliding. It's because it's sliding. It has a sliding behavior here where they'll move past each other. So something that I have found really interesting, is that these don't all move in lockstep together. So they each have an order in which they move. Yeah, and that's what I want. That's what I want. But what I find interesting is that if I make them so they don't do that, right? So I can use, Doc says I'm like controlling from code section about changing parameters in real time in shared instances. Yeah, so Maxi, that's sort of what I ran into as well, is that, oh, they're sharing this resource, and that's where I finally figured out how to change the resource to local instances to duplicate here. I don't want them to sort of jerk as they slide. I want them to have a maximum velocity. So something I would like to be able to do is I've set their velocity this way. When I do move and slide, their velocity can the amount that they move can actually be faster than the velocity that was set. And I don't like that. One option I have is I can make them move and collide and specify that I want them to move in that specific velocity, but then they kind of get stuck on each other. So you'll notice these fast guys get stuck behind. But that doesn't work. That doesn't work because move and slide, I have no control of doing it with move and slide. Move and slide actually performs the movement. Okay. So this is their maximum velocity. Their velocity has actually been set to the maximum velocity that I want them to move. Moving, it's half. That's what I have discovered, is move and slide works in mysterious ways. That's exactly what I've discovered. And what I've discovered is it doesn't all happen. It seems to calculate. Yeah, it works in mysterious ways that I don't think I like. So the behavior of these enemies jumping around each other, I don't like. So suddenly, I don't like these jumps where they go really fast. For the fighters, it turns out, yeah. So if I use just the animator lance, it works great. And I've used that in the past. So the animation tree is new to me. I like the animation tree though. For what it's worth, I do like animation tree. But yeah, they have these weird. Does dot limit length? All right. So where would I put it? Where would I put dot limit length here? Your suggestion was on character body dot limit length. Yeah, dot velocity dot limit length. And then what does limit length do? Let's go look at the documentation. Returns the vector with a maximum length by limiting it to its length value. Yeah, so it's already set to the maximum value that I want. That's the thing. It's already set to the maximum value that I want. I could wrap it again in this, but that feels redundant. So I could do this. So notice, let me show you the code here. Can I put these on multiple lines? This is my formula here. This is the maximum length. Yeah, this is the maximum length already. This is exactly the maximum that I want them to be able to move right here. I set the velocity to that maximum. And then I call move and slide. The slide part is the magical part. It says, oh, well, I tried to move that. There was a thing there. Let me slide around the side of it. And so it makes it so my velocity, the amount of distance that I actually travel, is greater than the velocity that was set. So move and slide works in mysterious ways. Yeah, and there's no parameters or no adjustments I seem to be able to make to it. And we can test this out by printing out the actual, so I can save my previous position to my new position, and I can see that the amount of distance that I've traveled is greater than my velocity. And that is fascinating to me. That is a fascinating thing to me, is the amount of distance that I actually traveled during that timestamp was greater than my velocity. Train the physics material, make them, I forget the exact thing, rough so they don't slide. I mean, the simple solution is move and collide. But the thing that's interesting about this, all right. Now, I like the move and slide. There's some settings about sliding on character body. Let's look at those. So I don't mind them getting stuck here behind each other. But what I find kind of interesting is, and I think this is because physics is running on each of these physics, the physics process doesn't all happen on the same thread. So the calculation for these is not happening all at the same time. I think this is fine though, 'cause you can get, I think the move and collide is closer to the behavior that I want. And then I can write sort of smart movement. I can create a more intelligent movement. This looks correct, Captain No says, this looks better to me, right? So one thing I would like is see how this guy's faster. And maybe this is just a good strategy, is you could get the fast guys stuck behind the slow guys, which is okay. The move and slide, I would like them to slide around, but the speed at which they slide is really interesting. All right, let's look at the character body. There's some settings on slide on the character body. Let's look at the character body here. Let's go into our node inspector. This is our character body here. Slide on ceiling. I don't think that's particularly interesting. Moving platforms. There are no moving platforms. Stop on slope, block on wall. So potentially snap length. So it's some of these constant speed. Why is motion mode grounded? That is the default. Shouldn't it be floating? That is the default. I've never seen this before. Sets the motion, which defines behavior, move and slide, motion constants. All right, this could be it. Floating, apply when there's no notion of floor. Okay, so this definitely should be floating. This definitely should be floating. Let's see if this helps. That could very well be it. I wonder if it was doing something to make it sort of slide downward. My other thought was to change these to use rigid bodies so they'd actually push them. The faster ones would push the other ones out of the way. If I make them rigid bodies rather than character bodies. Okay, today I learned. Yeah, it was taking gravity into account, so it's trying to, gravity, which there is none, it was pushing them downward. That's why it always looked like it was doing, it always seemed to have a better effect if I was going down. All right, perfect. Michael, thank you so much for helping with that. There, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, let's apply that to our player as well. This should be floating. Points, add Michael. 500 points, add Zaft, another 500 points to you for your assistance and pointing out that this should be floating. Today I learned. Okay, we done did it, folks. Let's get a commit in here. A lot of stuff. Why are temp files being added in here? Did I not get the correct Godot? I'm curious why these temp files are here. They really shouldn't be. What was the setting for character I missed? Too nerdy nerd. So my game isn't a 2D platformer. The setting that was important here was motion mode, floating. So yeah, Michael, game dev. I'm used to using rigid bodies doing 2D stuff in Unity, and I have found that using rigid bodies in Godot very different, very different. So yeah, so I've had played around with rigid bodies a lot, and you end up writing a ton of extra code in not the physics process, but overriding. There's like a physics thread process that you end up writing, unless you're making a jank physics game. Yeah. So I think you're correct. I do like the idea of having them push other ones out of the way, but we can play around with that later. Why are we getting these temp? Let's go ahead and I don't want to add, a temp file should not be committed, right? Go ahead and code, what did my get ignore say? Oops, that's not what I want. Code, it's failing to save a file. Yeah, I'm just surprised that it's including them at all. I feel like that should be part of, this file feels very small. There we go. Beat, really was a fix. Remove a slidey, overly slidey, or we'll do feet. Switch, character, body, motion to floating. Yushi61, welcome to the stream. Yushi, oh Yushi, thank you for following me today. Yushi, welcome to the stream. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Welcome into the stream. We are working in Godot. We're learning a little bit about Godot ourselves. We're making a top-down shooter. A twin stick shooter is what we've been calling it. Because you use the left hand to control the movement and use the right analog to control where you're shooting. So you move in one direction, but you can shoot in the other. So that's what we're working on. We're getting our enemies added in. We got some Neanderthals added in. Mostly Maxi, right? Commit -M change. Just at that point, Maxi, I used to work with a person. This is a true story. There's a data scientist I worked with that drove me crazy. They literally would do git commit -mf. And so all of their commit messages were just F. They were thinking this was like somehow forcing the commit, but in fact it was me. In fact, this just makes your commit message the letter F, which is definitely what you want when you have to go look through it. When you get, oh man, I don't want to go into too many details, but we had this a code audit at some point. We had to go through. Allow empty message after. I don't know which is worth, F or having the empty message there. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I don't know which one's better, which one's worse. They're both pretty bad though. Okay. Got used to squash commits on merge. Don't do squash commits on on a pull request, sure. On a pull request, sure. That's fine. I think if you're doing it on a pull request, that's fine. Okay, so we have this. We can shoot the enemies. I think the next thing I want to do. Let's see, does my bullet? Yeah, my bullet keeps going. The projectile keeps going. I need to figure out the right cadence for commits. Pretty much, if you're working by yourself, it's not too bad. Consistency with your team, I think, is important. I personally prefer the commits to be as small as possible. And then you can really go in and cherry pick which changes you actually want. I tend to, during game dev, write way too much because I don't always know exactly what I'm doing, but commits as small as possible I think are better than giant commits for sure. Also, Giganzo, welcome back to the stream. Maybe the temp file is this bug. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's check it out. Giganzo, how you been, my friend? Sporadic temp files are left in project source on Windows. This seems kind of correct. In real work, minimum 2 or 3 hours for me. I love CKY, I love small commits too. 2 or 3 per hour, gotcha. I thought you were saying 1 commit every 2 to 3 hours. I'm going, that's a lot. That's a lot of hours per commits. 2 or 3 per hour sounds about right. I'm doing wonderful, CKY. I was asking for you yesterday. I was going, where's CKY? We ran into an issue yesterday. I thought it was a Firebot issue, but in fact, it was an OBS issue. OBS updated and lost my connection to Firebot. And I thought it was a Firebot issue, but it wasn't. Jolt, welcome back. Great to see you. 2 to 3 per hour seems reasonable. If you're making progress, sometimes if you're not making any progress, no commits happen, right? Sometimes you're just prototyping and digging into a problem and trying to figure out what's going on, weaseling your way around. Noodling, weasel is the wrong word, noodling your way around. Pomodoro, I'll do a commit at the end of the time block. That's one way to do it. Commit basically should have a message in it too. It should be short enough that once, in my mind, a commit should be short enough to have a single sentence describe it. My small commits are 90 lines and 50 pages. I think the perfect commit should be able to be described in exactly 1 sentence. How's that? The perfect commit. I'm not saying that there's many perfect commits, but I personally feel the perfect commit should be able to be described in 1 sentence. And it's okay. You can just do more commits. There's no harm in doing more commits. But initial commit, most of it describes exactly what it is. The first commit, second commit, third commit, boom, perfect. Perfect. Every commit described as a work in progress. Exactly. We could go look at how bad my commits are. Here, let's go look at how, just so you know how bad my commits are, let's go look at RPG Dungeon Generator. I have a bunch of these things. They start out good, and then they get progressively worse. So 327 commits. Yeah, look at how bad mine are. Anonymous, welcome back to the stream. I wish I could show you some of my company commits. I feel proud of those. I do feel proud of those. Let's go back in time. And they get worse and worse as you go. And they actually, I think this one actually is probably terrible the whole way through. Because I knew this was for a jam and I was just crunching through it as fast as I could. I do have a lot of commits on this. This is 2 weeks. All right, initial commits, initialize solution, merge, initialize Unity project, add post build, add to Unity, update, get ignore, add dungeon editor project, progress. Ooh, I even have like checks here. I did pretty good on this one, it looks like. I was looking at some Golang stuff and thought up an idea for a web app, an open source version of Miro. I'm sure I'll need some JavaScript framework for most of the front end though. Interesting. This is, these commit messages seem okay. We're not looking at the actual thing, replace JavaScript with Lua. But I even have, look at me, build and test we're going through on these anyway. Oh, it looks like I was even working from a separate branch and doing merges in. Look at me being so good at this. This is a real, so I was gonna go pull, I thought this one would be a terrible example of my terribleness. I thought this would be a good example of my terribleness, but apparently not. That's interesting. I have so many of these. This one will be terrible though. Here, let's look at this one. I had a good cadence on this apparently. This one will be bad because I did not have a good cadence on this one. This one will be terrible, just be like all the things. Maybe not. Look, I have some start 3D Unity project. Initialize libraries, implement basic grid cell, implement first draft of grid editor, implement basic movement rotation, fix camera null pointer, new map. Okay, maybe I'm not as bad as I thought. There's definitely some periods there where I've been really bad. Implement simple generator, final commit for now. This one's here's a bad one. Here's a bad one. Final commit for now contains just a bunch of some random thing. Doesn't explain anything about what it was. Okay, well, apparently I'm amazing. So look, I'm perfect. I'm perfect, folks. Captain Coder perfect confirmed. If I don't write code, I consider it a chore. Zaft, if I don't write code, I consider it a chore. So like if I'm adding files, modifying stuff in the editor, that comes from my software engineering background, where I don't have a UI where I'm modifying stuff. Anonymous, I really like Godot. Yeah, I really like how lightweight Godot is. It's a simple program that's lightweight, has a lot of features that can be added through asset packs, like asset libraries. Need some work. Need at least 3 more hats, Ralph, for 500 points. For 500 points, you can give Captain Coder a hat. Ralph wants me to have 3 more hats. We can make that happen. Captain Enosa, thank you for the hats. Let's get a hat added to the stack. 1 hat. 2 hats. 2 hats. 3 hats. There we go. How do we do? How do we do? Ralph, what do you think? What do you think? You got enough hats now? Hats delivered. Ralph, how do you feel? How does it feel to be the catalyst of 3 additional hats on this stack? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm having a beautiful day. We are working on learning a little bit about Godot. We are making a game here where this Triceratops way too fast, but that's just for testing purposes. I want to add in a spawning behavior for these guys next. I would assume LIFO is too easy, last in, first out. Shaboy, welcome into the stream. Shaboy, how you been, friend? Hope you're having a beautiful day. If you remove hats, what is the method? I would assume, yeah. So we end up with what's called a hat stack overflow, and they all just go flying off. They all just go flying off. Sometimes if I lean too far to the left or lean too far to the right, they fall off. But at the end, yeah, there's no Captain Enosa people. Maybe I should add in a clear hats redeem. One's in the chat. How many hats do you have? I think there are 18 hats in this room. We used to have 26, and then I went down to 24. And then one day I got stuck with 24 hats, like 20 hats on my head, and it was just too much. So I reduced the number of hats because I assumed my doctor would prefer me to not have a compressed spine. So I took all the really heavy leather hats out. It just cost 16 plus 500. Go full Diamondale, yeah. Don't go full. Oh, gotcha, yeah. Don't go full, gotcha. We'll try not to. Shaboy, how you been though? Welcome in. Happy Tuesday, my friend. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for popping in, checking us out. I know I stream super early. I stream super early for most people. 5 a.m. local here. 4 a.m. is usually when I start. Tomorrow, folks, don't forget, I want to give another shout out. Let's see if it'll let me give another shout out. Probably not. Probably didn't do it enough yet here. I'm going to be streaming over. I'm going to be hosting. Oh boy, I need to just hang on. Twitch. I need to add a command for this. I'm going to forget to do it anyway. I am going to be hosting for the takeover on Godot Engine Official. I can't do that. Hang on. Folks, tomorrow I'll be streaming over on Godot Engine Official. I'll be starting earlier than my normal time. So I'll be starting 4 hours earlier, but I'll be going through my normal time as well. So if you're here for my normal time, I'll be here. But I am starting at 4 a.m. or midnight local time. So about 4 hours before I normally start is when I'll be there. But I'll be there during this time anyway. Yeah. Ralph says, Godot is fantastic. My nitpicks aside, been really enjoying playing around with some toy projects. Ralph, that's how I feel. My nitpicks aside, I really like Godot. I really like. What time is it? That EST, that'd be 3 a.m. Eastern Standard. I think it's Eastern Daylight Time, but are we in Standard Time or Daylight Time? It'd be 3 a.m. East Coast USA. 3 a.m. East Coast USA is when I'll be over on Godot Engine Official tomorrow. And if you want to find out, I'll actually be posting it on the Discord. If you want to really know, if you want to be notified, I'll be posting over on the Discord. Hang on, let me just update my schedule. I need to do this anyway. Let's go update the schedule on the Discord here. Get some Discord timestamps. Why is nothing working today? There it is. Discord timestamp. I'll stay up then, Anonymous. You don't have to come, but we just love to have you there. Big issue I have is one of my own making. I decided to use C# in almost all the things I find on the internet outside of the official stocks. Shaboy J, I actually have done a lot. Not a lot. I started off trying to use C# in Godot, and just, it was not working well for me. It did not work well for me. The C# bindings are pretty immature, right? So they need time to mature. Is it slimmed down Unity, or are they comparable? I would say it's super lightweight compared to Unity. In fact, I'm in the process of, in a good way. That's in a good way. Oh, Shaboy J, I would just learn GD script. Maybe not. I love C#. Don't get me wrong. I love C#. I teach C# as my main programming language. Tomorrow, 12 a.m. to, let's get this added in here, to 6 a.m. here. It's a little bit rough at the moment. There's a lot of work to do to make it super mature, make it work a little bit better. And the biggest downside to, where did Discord go? The biggest downside to using C# in my opinion is that you can't do web builds. Godot engine official. Streaming on Godot engine official here. Okay, and we'll update the rest of these. No stream on Thursday, but we'll be back on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There we go. So if you want to find the Discord, these are Discord timestamps. They'll show up in your local time. So if you're over on the Discord, you can find in the schedule, you'll find the exact times I'll be here. So if you want to see what it is in your local time on tomorrow, you can find it there. I'm sure they're going to improve it as time goes on. That's one of the great things about open source software, is that people will continue to contribute and improve it, and it will get better and better and better. Is that you get so many quality features with GDScript as well. Easy access to Sorry, folks, I'm still recovering from COVID. That cough came out of nowhere. Let me get some tea in me. Yeah, so I will say, ever since I switched to using GDScript with Godot, I've been really excited, really happy with their built-in editor. Is the render or compiling render on mid-tier hardware. So Grim Reaper, I have actually found, so here's one of the cool things about, if you're using GDScript, it's interpreted. There's no compilation. So let's say this is one of the coolest things I like about it. Let's say I'm in the middle of testing this out and I'm like, oh man, hang on. I got something wrong in my Neanderthal code here. Something's wrong in my Neanderthal chase player behavior. I need to debug this. I actually meant to use this code here. I can just change the code. Press save. Updates live. Doesn't have to recompile, just goes through instant because it's interpreted in the editor. So when you actually go to do your build, it does some really cool optimizations and compilations. At that point, compiles into C++. I think I may finish my current project and switch to GDScript. Shaboy J, I highly recommend at least, finish your project in C#. I wouldn't switch mid-project. But I would give GDScript a try. I don't like the syntax, but I like it's a first-class citizen for game development in Godot. So the fact that it's a first-class citizen for game development in Godot is nice for the following reasons. Here's another reason I really like it. Oh, I want to reference this. Boom, drag it in. I want to do some stuff with signals. All right, so my animation tree has some signals on it. Come over here, click signal. Oh, I want it when the animation changes. I want in my enemy health behavior. I want it to do a thing. Oh, I can just connect that in here like this. Just connect that script in. Now that signal's built in, that event is added to the code for me. So there's a lot of really, really nice features. Let me disconnect this because I don't actually want this. It's a lot of really nice features built into the editor for doing things quickly. So I will say from a standpoint of doing things quickly, you get really, really nice. Only thing you should switch is frameworks, but sometimes you'll have unexpected issues. Yeah. JD, welcome back to the stream. Congratulations on your number 26. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. JD, how was yesterday was your first day of work, your new job? How'd it go? How'd things go? How you feeling about it? Yeah, C# has no on-ready equivalent. One has to be in the ready methods themselves. It's a small thing, but it adds up. Yeah, so I've been pretty happy with this. The only real thing I've done in Godot, that's not entirely true. Can I open up a new Godot engine here? Yeah, the only other project I've really done in Godot is learn you a Godot. In GD script was this platformer project. So we made this the other day. JD does dev is here, that's right, yep. It went well, lots of meetings and onboarding, but I like it, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So we made this game just to test some things out here. We have music, hang on, let me get my desktop audio. So we did make this game in Godot, so we made a little game called Tofu Land. We didn't quite finish it, but this was a 2-week project, a little 2-week project we did. I never played it. I don't think I've actually put it anywhere. We made it on stream as part of Learn You a Game Jam month. So I learned a bunch about Godot that month. We set it up here so we could change the input keys. We learned about UI stuff. Oh, we're already starting over here. let me move the player start. We didn't quite finish. We ran out of time. I wish I could only spend 2 weeks on something. Yeah, so we try and do something new-ish here every couple of weeks. I used to do something new every week, but that's just not quite enough time. Join game jams, yeah. Oh, I didn't save. Save? Is this not my player? I moved the wrong thing, hang on. That was not. No, that should have been the right thing. Player, yeah. Player. Why didn't you start here? Very weird. I don't know what's going on with my player not starting back at the beginning. I'd have to look into exactly what's going on. I wanted to play this level so you guys could see it. Can I play just this scene? Run current scene. Yeah, it wants to start over here for some reason. Well, I can show you this way. Right-click move node here. Did this not actually move the node to this position? Project should only be done in the course of 7 days spread years. 7 days spread years apart from each other. Yeah, so 7 days at a time, but years in between. Move nodes here. No, I don't know why I'm starting over there. There must be something about my player's spawn point or something. I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know that right-click move things here. There must be something that I don't understand, that I put in the code specifically to test something out. Yeah. But this is the only real thing I've done here. Here, we'll play the level backwards. We'll play the level backwards so we can see it. I implore the audience to look at the absolutely amazing canvas layer name. What is the Cantani's UI name here? Really awesome. We need it to be this way. Don't change whatever you do. Don't change it. Yeah, it's true. You can't change it. If you change it, the whole game breaks. But yeah, we spent some time doing this. I think we spent 2 weeks on it, a couple hours a day to make this little. Oh, come on, come on. We can do this. There we go. So those are our checkpoints, these little bubbles here. And so we respawn there. So we learned about animators. We didn't learn about animation trees. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get back, am I? No. So we did a fun stuff in this one here. I wish I could set my start point back at the beginning of the level. That's okay. But we played around with having a music slider, sound effects. We got the splat in there, yeah. So just basic stuff for us learning about this, a little bit of a learning project. Tomorrow on the Godot engine official stream, I'll actually be, so I'm a computer science teacher, so anyone who doesn't know, I'm Captain Coder. Anyone who's new here, I'm Captain Coder, Captain Coder is me, and me is Captain Coder, and Captain Coder is a computer science teacher. My full-time job is working as a teacher at a school for ages 10 to 14, teaching computer science and programming. I often use game dev as a catalyst to get students excited about programming, to get them excited about learning something. Tomorrow, I will be streaming over on Godot Engine Official.
Pay attention.
Yeah, that's right, Zap, pay attention. I'll be streaming over on Godot Engine Official. We're actually going to be creating a classroom assignment. You're going to be able to watch my process for creating a classroom assignment right on stream in Godot. So I'm going to be teaching a class this coming school year on the Godot engine. How did you pull that off? Godot Engine Official? They asked. They reached out to me and they asked. I said, cool, let's do it. Let's do it. Freedom Forge. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Yeah, so they asked if anyone wanted to, if there were people interested in doing it this week, and I said, yeah, I'd love to do it. So that's sort of how I pulled off is not quite the right word. They reached out and asked if I would be interested in doing it. All right, folks, I do have to take a quick break here. I'm a little bit sick, so I need to get a little bit early on our break. I don't know if you can tell, my throat's getting a little bit scratchy. So I'm gonna go get myself some throat coat tea. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 3-5 minutes when we continue our Godot adventure. Hang tight, everybody. Don't go anywhere. I will return. All right, everybody, we're back. How's my hair? Is my hair a mess? It's a mess. It was fine before I wore the hat. Someone quick redeem a hat so I can cover up this mess. Quick, get a hat in there. That's right, folks. The hat's ready. Thank you so much for the hat, Lance. Let's do it. Oh, that's better. That's better. Now, the hats get me all wonky, all goofy, all messed up there. Slavico, welcome back to the stream. Woof, woof is right. Woof is right. Thank you for the hat. Let's get another one in there. We got some throat coast steeping. Thank you for the hat, Slavical. I appreciate it. It's the bedhead look from the 90s. Yeah. So it's like my hair is. So the problem is, I'm showered when I start out the stream, and so my hair is nice and wet, and then I get a hat on top of wet hair, and then it dries really funny. And so my hair's a mess these days. After stream, I have to go shower again to get it to look okay. Luckily, I'm on summer break and no one has to look at me, except you guys, except you folks, so I don't have to deal with it too much here. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's wonderful to have you. Folks, just a reminder, in case you didn't know, this project is inspired by the incredible, wonderful JD Does Dev. JD Does Dev, thank you so much for the inspiration for this project. Did you guys know JD Does Dev does Godot? Working on a game called Sudi, or what is your game called Sudi, or is it called, or is that just the character's name? JD, are you still with us? If you're with us, we'd love to hear about your game. It's your Steam page, Sudi's Revenge. If you got your Steam page link for us, feel free to send that along. Love to check it out. Braxton, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful day. What have you been up to, Braxton? How about some post-break Q-list? Let's do it, Zaft, you know I love me some Q-list. All right, let's get a round of Q-list going. Perfect. Get our docs. I'm still editing it to get approval. Okay, so not yet approved, but keep an eye out on it. Give JD.
Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions. He loves to sing. Join our Discord. Follow him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be in the world. Captain Coder here on this beautiful Tuesday. Nothing's wrong. Nothing went wrong. I don't know what happened. There. We got the points. Got them. There we go, folks. I don't know what. That was crazy. OBS decided to crash on us. We're back. Proton, how you been, friend? Welcome back to the stream. Great to have you here. Folks, if you guys don't know, the incredible, the unstoppable, the fabulous Proton Fig, be sure to go give him a follow. Oh no, there it goes. And let's see if the doc cam breaks it. Then give Proton a follow. Yeah, OBS crashed on us. I don't know what happened there. Let's get our doc cam. All right, there it is. I don't know why it crashed. That was wild. We're gonna play ourselves a round of Q-list. Our hat stack was unstable. We had an unstable hat stack, that's right. All right, so for anyone who's not familiar with Q-list here, it's a game we like to play here on stream. Thank you so much for the redeem, Zaft, you still with us? Hope you're still with us. Zaft redeemed Q-list. Q-list is a game, Scrabble-esque game. You have to take these letters, you have to combine them into a grid of continuous letters. Yeah, OBS had a memory leak. Okay, we have two vowels. It's going to be a tough one. We have two vowels. We have one Y. We got a V. This V is going to be difficult. The one thing that is important is that all the words Him, oh, what a good one. Him is a great one because it doesn't require any of our vowels. Scurvy. Let's get some scurvy in here. Scurvy. I thought this one was going to be tough. We might be able to pull this off, no problem. And so the one thing is all the words have to be real words. And they have to be at least 2 letters long. Yum. Can we do a yum? We could do a yum. Like that. It does take away from our him. Our him there. Oh, that's a V. Yeah, this one's a V. Apparently vim is the word, though. JD taught us that. Scurvy. I do like scurvy. Scurry. Scurvy. Thank you so much for correcting me there on the scurvy. And then we could do VHS acronyms. I don't think we could do acronyms. We'd have to double check. I used the Scrabble dictionary. We could do rum, but then we have this A left over. Nah, we can't do nah because it's not too. Marm. Ooh. Oh, that's not an M. Cram is a word, though. Oh, that one was too easy. Zapped, or who said him, zapped with the him, really saved us on that one there. We could also do scram. And we could have a curvy scram, curvy him. Ooh. Is scram a word? I think scram is a word. Is this how we spell cram? I gotta double check this. We nailed it. Someone double check. For some reason, it's one of those words to me right now that looks super funny. Cram is a word, right? That's how we spell cram. To get this zoomed in here. Uh-oh, we got a chocolate stain. That's not good. Now you guys know how stained I am. There we go. Those are 3 words. Yes, sweet. Let's add this to our Q-List Hall of Fame. Zaf, that might be a new record. If we hadn't crashed. Proton, you broke my stream. Proton, you. Yeah, the stream crashed. I don't know exactly what happened there, but it went down. Let's go ahead and get this added into the Q-List Hall of Fame. We lost all our lurkers. That's the one thing that always happens when the stream dies like that. We got knocked down, but that's okay. Nothing's gonna keep us down. We're gonna keep going here. I'm surprised we lost them. Usually I feel like if I can get it back, we don't lose the lurkers that fast. Let's add this to our Q-List Hall of Fame. So over on the Discord, folks, don't forget we do have a Discord. Over on the Discord, we can add in, you can see all our past Q-List games here. Can we try to crash it again, Proton? Is that what you're saying? You got Scurvy, Cram, and him, but you can go see almost all of our previous games here. Let's go ahead and put this away, put it back into the container before I forget here. Thank you guys so much for playing. Super fun. One of my favorite things. And since we managed to finish that, I don't know why I do this to myself. 500 points, all you beautiful people, because we finished it. That way you guys can all add hats to my head if you really want to. Okay, let's hop back in here. And see, what are we working on? Yes, let's see if we can actually do something today. I think today, what I want to do is see if we can add in a spawner for these guys, right? I would start with curry. Curry's another one that we could have done there. Did we have 2 R's? We did have 2 R's. Curry's a good one. I really liked him, was a great find just because it is, it doesn't use our 2 vowels. So the vowels are precious. I want to work on creating a spawner for our enemies to come out of and set it up so that we can have some waves for them as well. So a spawner, we can have waves, and then I should cram with curry now. Gotta cram that curry right in my face. Get it in there, stuff it in. So good, so delicious. So in my arena here right now, I just have these guys out here to test. Let's go and delete these Neanderthals. And what I want to do is create a spawn point, a place where the enemies can spawn in for us. And so I'm going to start off by creating I'm wondering if I should put it under enemies. I'm going to create a new folder for it. I'm going to call it spawner, like this. And the idea is the spawner is just going to have things coming out of it. The way I did it previously is I had sort of, I really don't like the way I did it before. It felt a little bit painful to create new ones. And so I think what I want to do is a little bit different this time, but let's start off by making a scene for this. And it's going to be a spawn point, spawner. Okay. So spawn, and of course I spelled it incorrectly. Spanwer, a spawn. There we go. So it'll be a spawner like that. And what I want to have in our spawner is going to be, this is really just a position, but we want to be able to add in sort of these waves into the spawner. Is that what I want? So previously, let me think about this. I want to think, yeah. So I'm going to put a spawner on each one of these spots here. And this is just going to have a queue of enemies to spawn. So it's just going to have a queue that it sort of says, is it time to DQ and spawn in the next enemy? If so, go pull it off and spawn the next enemy. Okay. So we have a spawner. So I think just putting the script directly on it would be okay. But to follow our system a little bit, I'm going to go and put a node in here so it's a little bit extensible. It's going to be our spawner behavior. It might feel a little bit, it's probably overkill to do this. I could probably put it directly on this node here. But this is going to be something that we can send information into it to, is that right? Is that what I want to do? Maybe I do want to just put it on the top level here, my spawner. This is one thing I find a little bit, well, I could still do it that way because it would note inside of it. Yeah, so this is our spawner behavior. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to create a script for this. Congratulations on your number 30, Uwoger. Welcome back to the stream. How you been, friend? It's going to be our spawn behavior. Spawner behavior. Birgan, congratulations on your number 31. Great to have you here. Also, Mutant, I don't know if I said welcome to the stream, but great to have you here on this beautiful day. Thank you so much for playing Q-List with us. All right, spawner behavior. Let's go ahead and attach this here. People get mad because I do it in this order. They think I should make the script first and then I'll add it as a node later. Let's close all of these. We'll open this up. This is going to be class name spawner behavior. And our spawner behavior is going to have a queue. And I'm wondering if there is, I've never used a queue element. So there's some thoughts here about thread safety. I know that Godot is not single threaded. I do wonder if the main game process is single threaded. I want to have some methods here. In queue enemy, like this. In queue wave, in queue enemy, and really should just be called in queue. So we can add things to our spawner. And then during our process here, is this even right? I don't even think it needs to be during process. There should be a DQ that is happening, and this needs to be an asynchronous thing. And we have these events that are coming in where it says, this is just really process. DQ is not quite the right thing here. Or process queue. And process queue just says, if there's something in my queue, pull it out and spawn it. So we're going to be taking in elements to spawn. Those elements need to have two properties. If there is something in my queue, pull it out and spawn it. Retrieve it. 1, we'll retrieve it. 2, spawn it. And then 3, wait, until, wait for, each spawn will say how long you need to wait for the next thing. Wait for next, wait some amount of time. And really at 0 here, go to 0. This is sort of the algorithm. Check to see if there's something in my queue. If there is, pull it out, spawn it, wait for some time, put it in. In queue is gonna say, add element to queue. It's gonna take in the enemy, or, enemy is what I'm thinking. I need to come up with the type of this thing. It's going to be some new node type that knows how to be spawned. So it could be a single enemy, it could be a group of enemies. It's something that knows how to be spawned at a specific location. So it's going to add an element to queue. And then essentially call process queue if it's not currently being processed. This is where the threading issue I was thinking of can come into play. If queue is not being processed, we sort of just want to make sure that the queue is being processed here. Go to 0. If there's something in the queue, we retrieve it. We could also just have a thing here that says, if there's nothing in the queue, wait to start. But I think I want to make it so that way, I'm not sure. Could have a Boolean. Is processing. Okay. And I'm trying to think about how to start this thing. We could just always start it. Wait a small amount of time otherwise. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And then on ready, we call process queue. Yeah, so func ready. We'll start process queue like this. Okay, so this is gonna be a while true loop here. While true. And at the end, inside of this loop, we're gonna await. Is there just like a timer, a queue, get tree? We need to know how long to wait. Now, all this is going to do is add enemy queue. So I need this idea of a queue. Does GD script have a queue? I'm assuming it doesn't. Arrays are queues. That's not true. Are they actually arrays, or do we have I want a thread save queue is really what I want. They have push back front. So that's not an array, so it's an array list. It's like it's a list then. It's a dynamically sized array. GD script queue. I'm gonna see if they have a queue. So stuff with queues, it's really important. So this is going to be having probably hundreds of things in it, potentially thousands of things. It does need to be efficient. GD script array. Is this an array, a built-in data structure that holds a sequence of elements? An array data structure can contain a sequence of elements of any type. Elements are accessed by numerical index. Elements are used to count from the back. No, arrays are always passed by referencing a copy of an array that can be modified independent of the original array. I don't want to do that. I'll push. This must be push back, push front. Oh, that's gross. So I want to understand the big O time complexity of these methods. This one happens to be important. Creates an array from the base. I want to be able to specify the size. Gee, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you next time, my friend. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. Yeah, I can't specify the default size. Right, so Zaf, that's what I'm wondering. Should I be doing push front, push back? We looking for a linked list, right? We need one insert and deletion from the front or back. I would prefer to, so it turns out linked lists are kind of slow in general. I would prefer a dynamically sized array. I just want to understand which of these. I really want a queue data structure. I want the data structure that's called a deck. All right. There's a data structure called a deck, which is a double-sided queue. I want a double-ended queue is what I really want. Doesn't need to be double. It need to be. I really want a queue. I want an efficient queue data structure. Dejeki, a linked list would be okay. Dictionary is not going to be the right thing. A priority queue would be fine too. We have a queue. I can't believe there's not a queue data structure. Built in, that's crazy to me. Yes, it's queueless, JD, that's right. It is queueless. Okay. And let's see what they say in C#. So this is why I dislike the C# stuff. It says, oh, use the Godot collection for an array. And it's like, doesn't give me any additional. Another one of those reasons I went from with the C# wrapper, it'd be nice to have an efficient queue. A stack would be fine too. Because you can implement, anyway. I just want to know. Push. I want to know, do I want to be using push front or push back? Appends an element to the end. See also push front, adds an element. On large arrays, especially, it's much slower than push back. Okay, so this is a dynamic array. All right, so we're going to use push back. There we go. This tells me right here. As it will reindex all of the array element. Push back is going to be better. It doesn't reindex. This tells me it's using a dynamic array. There you go. Just work from the back of an array. This is typically one thing that we could do, but with pushback, when you do pop front, no, I'm going to be doing, oh yeah. I'm going to show you a secret, Zaft. I'm going to show you a secret. I'm going to show you a secret. No, you use two. Here, do you not know the secret? Do you not know the secret to make a queue using two stacks? All right, check this out. All right, so you want a queue. We want a first. We want an efficient first in, first out queue. Okay, this is what we want. We want an efficient first in, first out queue. Okay. We can do it with 2 stacks. All right. With 2 stacks. Okay. So you have 1 stack called your in queue. In queue stack. So when someone says, give me a thing, we add it stack. So this is the first thing that we want. This is the second thing that we want. This is the third thing that we want, right? All right, so we in queue stuff into it. All right, when we dequeue, check it out. This is what we do. We have 1 stack called our in queue stack. This is our DQ stack. This is our DQ stack. When someone goes to DQ something, you say, oh, is there something in here? No. Go ahead and empty this stack in here. So this becomes 3, 2, 1. We just pop all of these off. Put them in here, boop. Now, this stack DQs in the order that we want. 1, 2, 3. And so we always in queue in this one. If this one is empty, we put everything in this stack over. We just dump it over. So this ends up being O of N. O of N. No, check it out. It's O of 1. It's O of 1. So this operation is O of 1. Welcome in, Raiders. Thindle, how was your stream? Welcome to the stream, Thindle. Hope you're doing well. What were you working on? Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it. How many times do we do this? How often do we need to push everything over here? Well, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 times. So we end up pulling things over once every O of N times. So this is actually O of N divided by O of N, which is O of 1. So this ends up being O of 1. Because you only ever have to move things over once every N operation. So it ends up being quite fast. Yeah. So this is a relatively efficient stack, especially if you aren't if you're inserting and queuing and dequeuing pretty often. So it's the same amount of time. It's the same trick with resizing your array. We worked on integrating with Mailjet and converting PDF generator from using system.drawing. Interesting. Had 3 things on my I hope I have time for this. Got 2 done. Last one was add poly. Let's go. Getting some stuff done is important. I haven't gotten anything done today, but we're about to write a really simple queue using 2 stacks. Yeah, so Zaft, it's a little trick you can do if you don't have a linked list. If you don't have a linked list here, I don't feel like implementing a linked list. That feels painful, unless they have one. I guess I could do a linked list. I'm assuming they don't have one. Yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. Okay, so I guess we're gonna write our own data structure. Let's do it, folks. We're gonna write ourselves a queue here. All right, so we're gonna come down in here. We're gonna write on, it'll be fun. Yeah, that's what it'll be fun, they said. It'd be great. They said, also, folks, I gotta give a shout out to Thindle. If you guys don't know Thindle, incredible human. Cat dad.
Kitty.
How's Zelda doing, Thindle?
Very easy.
Few streams will be doing tree balancing. I hope not. I have come here to drop some news, Captain. I'm not the best mood. I could be. I hope it's not terrible news, real Sky Ninja. But I hope we're able to get you a little bit of that energy passing off here, sending you our good vibes. Sky Ninja, it's great to have you. Yeah, send me a whisper. Discord's probably the best place to do it, but feel free to send it here if you'd like. But great to see us, Sky Ninja. Why this doesn't send my message? What message? Proton, what happened? What happened? I don't see your message. But yeah, great to have you here. Oh, I just missed it. I was in the middle of explaining something, so that did come through. I just didn't see it because I was in the middle of saying something. I actually did it auto-mod it? I actually did see that come through. It just got. How are things going, Captain? It's been a while. I've been busy with my new Vampire. Yeah, I've been gone for a week as well. Been streaming a lot with my new streaming setup. Nice, nice. I've got dual-headed 60 FPS video capturing now. Here's some stars in the star field I did for Vampire. And if you fast forward a couple minutes, there are sweet Julia set of fractals. Very cool. Go check it out. Could be flagged on if it's hidden. But yeah, feel free to send me a message there. Let's check it out, Proton. Let's check it out. Let me blur it just real quick. Just getting into good habits, good habits. Oh man, that cough is driving me crazy. Ooh, look at that. Nice star field. Oh, pretty. Saying to go. Ooh, look at that fractal. Let's go, Proton. Vampire. Is Vampire the name of the tool you're using? Yeah. Look at those fractals. What music? Is this your music that we're listening to? Sky Ninja, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope things are on the up and up. It's a bummer, my friend. It's a bummer. Yeah, I appreciate you feeling confident to share that with me. I hope, don't get too down on yourself for something like that. We are all working to be better, do our best to grow. And, sometimes we have little setbacks like that. Rod Ion, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's get a hat added to the stack. You are not, don't let that come at your self-worth. It's a time to sit back and reflect what's going on there. One thing I will say is there's a study that basically, standard Amiga compatible computer, Sky Ninja. So something to keep in mind is your value as a human cannot be boiled down to that situation, right? And something that really need to keep, that I think a lot of people don't realize, is how we put so much pressure on young people to do super well with grades, to do super well with their grades, do super well in school. Want to know the craziest thing about that? Grades and success in school has no correlation to success in your life. Isn't that the craziest thing? Your GPA has no correlation to how successful you'll be in life. There's no correlation on it. And yet we put all this pressure on students to get perfect grades, get great grades. The school I work at actually doesn't have grades because we think they're kind of silly. A C average. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. There's so much pressure for students to do super well in school, to get perfect grades, to be perfect students, to study all this stuff. It has very little to do with how successful you. It's a very bad indicator, actually, how successful you'll be in life. Better indications are your personal skills, how well you interact with people, your drive, your grit, your ability to start and finish things, and goal setting. Those are indicators. People who do those things have high success in life. So don't let that get you down. You're welcome, Sky Ninja. You're welcome here. You know that. Best of luck with everything. If you ever need to talk, feel free to send me a message. Happy to chat and let you know my thoughts on things. Frida, welcome back. Thank you for the hat. Let's do another hat on this head. Sky Ninja, you want to know something crazy? I was a terrible student in high school. You want to know how many absences I had my senior year of high school? I think it's 58. Yeah, I had 58 absences my senior year of high school because I was just skipping school. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. So don't let that get you down. You can be successful without being a good student. There are different paths for different people. That said, when I got into university, when I got into college, for me, that was a big changer for me. I was not a big fan of school. I went to college to be a music teacher. And I found the niche for me there that got me excited about what I wanted to learn. Rod Iron wants me to die with a Coke command, so I just sweat to death. My main instrument is trombone. Proton, this is gorgeous. Yeah, my main instrument is trombone. Goob, welcome back to the stream. Goob, we got to get you a command out here. Yeah, we got to get you an animation. Goob, if you got any I probably actually had you already send me this stuff before. I want to get a little logo for you so that we can give you like a really cool shout out with an image that flies on the screen, gives you a shout out for your company. Thank you so much for being here, Goob. Welcome back to the stream. It's great to have you here. That's right, JD. I am a trombonist. That's correct. That's correct. I am a trombonist. I play guitar a little bit as well. I haven't played that much. This is my Vampire. This is Vampire. Oh, thank you for that, Proton. Let's check it out. Oh, right, you showed me this. This is super cool. Thank you so much for sharing it. I'm considering dropping out and starting game dev and content creators. I have a lot of skills in that, but I could be early to drop out first year of high school. It seems a little bit early. I wouldn't give up on it yet. What I will say is I do hate how important it is to employers to have that diploma, to have a degree. I hate how important that is. That said, someone with enough drive and grit can overcome that hurdle. So I'm not gonna encourage you to drop out, but if you do, I'm not gonna encourage you to drop, but if you happen to do that, I would recommend getting a GED. Yeah, I'd recommend getting a GED. Okay. Yeah, what's happening, Cap Dev Mashup? We're just checking out some of Proton stuff. Proton's been doing some work on his Vampire. Proton, thank you so much for sharing your fractal with us. This looked awesome. Your Starfield's super cool. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Thank you so much for sharing. That music is great as well. Nice little background. All right. GED. Oh, I don't know if they have in the United States. That's a general education diploma or something. I don't know. It's a high school graduation equivalent. It's a high school graduation equivalent. It's about social interaction and give you some time before you work the rest of your life. Goob that. Yes. Yeah. Dev Mashup, I'm doing a general education development test. Gotcha. College, can't recommend it. I loved college. I loved college as a student. Grover Soros, welcome to the stream, my friend. It's great to see you. Hope you've been doing well. Habuka 12, sorry if I missed you. Great to see you guys here. Hope you're having a beautiful day. We are about to implement a queue. We're about to implement a queue because I want to have a queue system here in my project. So we have this spawner here. Actually, I don't need to do it here. I can do it right in here. We're gonna have two things here. We're gonna have two things. Enjoy. Thank you so much for popping in, Sky Ninja. Have a beautiful day. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. And we'll see you. I'll be back. Oh, I'm streaming on Godot and Engine Official tomorrow. I'll be streaming on Godot and Engine Official stream tomorrow. So be sure to follow if you want to check out the captain tomorrow. I won't be streaming here, but I'll be streaming over here. So be sure to check them out. Give them a follow so you guys will see me over there. Okay. Yeah, please do. If you have time, no pressure, no pressure. All right, so what we want to do is we're gonna have two variables here. Yeah, that's right, Tater's game. We're doing Godot. We're doing Godot. We're doing the Godot. We're call this the NQ stack. Okay, and we're gonna have the DQ stack like this. Okay. I don't have my data type quite figured out yet. I know it's going to be an array. Do I just do array like this in Godot? Because I did, or can I say this, an array of things? We're doing a last in, first out, first in, first out queue. We're doing first in, first out queue using two stacks. Here. My stream crashed in the middle, Dev Mashup, so we had to restart. Yeah. An array of dictionary. We're going to create another type though. All right, so let's create another type. So for our spawner, let's create a script in here. Create a new script. And this is going to represent a spawn and entry. All right, so we're going to create a spawn entry here. And it's not going to extend a node. Spawn entry. We need to, it's going to be a resource, I think. Class name spawn entry. Resource, like this. And really this is going to have, this is what we're going to be enqueuing and dequeuing like that. Emo Giraffe 450, what a name. Emo Giraffe 450, thank you for following me today. We got Emo Giraffe 450 here today. Thank you so much for the follow, Emo Giraffe. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And I just don't know exactly what this is going to be yet, but I do know it's going to have a delay. So after something spawns, how long we wait for the next thing to spawn afterwards. I'm looking forward to Juggler's Q Magic. Zap's looking forward to it. We're going to get it in there. All right, so this is actually going to be our spawn entry. Spawn entry. We're going to enqueue here, entry. Like this. Ready wants me to put a void here like that. I won't learn programming. I'm already a Linux user. Let's go. I already learned some bash shell commands to control the system, and I think that the bash room may be really nice beginning to learn programming. Do you agree? I don't think it's a bad place to start. I wouldn't call it the best place to start. I think bash is a fantastic way to learn how to automate systems on Linux. So automate your life a little bit. I do think that there is, I don't want to, look, I love bash. I use bash a lot. I'm a Linux guy. I use bash a lot. I would say that there are languages that will give you more power quicker. Things like Python. I can't believe I'm recommending Python because Python is one of my least favorite languages, but Python isn't bad. If you're already using it, give Python a go. Yeah. So I think Python is fantastic for scripting. And I use Python for scripting all the time. I still can do a if in bash 25 years in. Yeah. You still cannot do an if. Yeah. The ifs in bash are a little bit wonky. I need a sax playing. Yeah, maybe we can get JD's sax graphic going in here. I'm looking forward to the oh, sorry. If I missed something in chat, feel free to copy paste it in there. Yeah, you got to end with the FI. Okay, so we have this spawn entry here. What we do, the enqueue is super easy. The enqueue is super easy. We just do enqueue stack.push back entry. That's all we do for this one. That's all we do for this one. Process queue, we're going to add in, hang on, we'll get rid of this. We're going to add in just a DQ here now. So I didn't realize we didn't have DQ. Is that how we spell DQ? That word looks weird to me. DQ here is going to give us a spawn entry like this. This is the idea at least. And what we do is we say, well, we have a DQ stack. And the idea at the end of the day is going to be pop back here. At the end of the day, this is what we want to do is our DQ stack. We take the last thing, we pull it off. Dairy Queen, give me a dang dilly bar. JD, I worked at a Dairy Queen for a few years when I was a kid. I got a worker's permit when I was 13 years old, 13 and a half. I think you had to be 13 and 6 months. But I got a worker's permit and I started working at a Dairy Queen. Oh man, we used to make the dilly. That was the craziest thing to me is I didn't realize that you made the dilly bars there. So we learned how to make the dilly bars and then you freeze them and then you sell them later. Like you package them up in the store. Emo Giraffe, I hope that was somewhat helpful. Also, welcome to the stream. Great to have you here. Emo Giraffe, something I'd suggest as well is you don't have to join our Discord, but I would say find a community where you can share what you're working on with other people, get feedback from them, and also give feedback. I find that you learn better when you have someone who is better than you giving you feedback, or someone even who has a different mindset. I did not get fired for not getting the swirl right. I did not. That Dairy Queen was an interesting place, though. Okay, so we can't just do this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to say if our DQ stack is empty, what we want to do is we actually want to take everything from our InQ stack and pop it into this. So then we'll say while InQ stack dot is not empty. We're going to do our DQ stack dot push back from our InQ stack dot pop back like this. All right, so if our DQ stack is empty, we move everything over to our DQ stack and we pop it off the back here. There's a little bit of an issue of saying if it's still empty, if it's still empty, we're gonna throw an exception. We need to know what's going on here. So what we wanna do is there a debug.assert? Are there asserts here? Assert that our DQ stack dot is not empty dot length is empty. I want to assert it's not empty here. Only runs in debug. Yeah, that's okay. So because it's going to crash here anyway, I'm assuming. Maybe I shouldn't make that assumption. I only want this to run in debug mode anyway. When I click run here, does it run in debug? This runs in debug mode or not? Because I want to get an error message in debug mode to know, okay. So I don't want to get this message. I want to make sure I don't ever write any code that does this. Okay. And then the last one that I want to write into the function is empty bool like this. And this is just going to return return DQ stack dot is empty and InQ stack dot is empty. All right, so now we have a queue. Now we have a queue that we can use. We can InQ stuff, we can DQ stuff. Our process queue here. Okay, so our process queue is going to just run and pull things out. Okay, so this is going to say a while true and say if we is empty, we want to wait. I'm going to create a variable here, var sleep time equals 0.1. All right. If is empty, we're going to do, how do I start a timer? How do I wait? I want to do an await queue, get a timer. I want to get a timer, get tree dot create timer sleep time dot timeout. Is it like this? Oh, like this. Can give the assert a second argument as a string for the message. Oh, perfect, perfect. Cannot DQ an empty queue. Okay. If we is empty, we're just gonna wait a small amount of time. I suppose I could do this here as well. I can also do an if not empty. Here's what we're gonna do. If we're not empty, that's what we'll do. We will always do this queue. This is one of the things I dislike about GDScript is the indentation. This is one of the things I dislike about Python as well. So if there is something in the queue, we're gonna go ahead and pull it out. Next entry, spawn entry, is going to be our DQ. We're gonna DQ the next entry here. Okay, and then spawn it is something we still have to do, spawn it. And then our sleep time is going to be our next entry dot delay, like this. and then we just go back to the top. So this is the whole process queue here. So process queue is just running on its own thread here. It's running on a timer that just is going to be keep timing out, timing out, timing out. Enjoy your day, JD. Call me the working man. That's right. Got that rush. And there's CKY with a hat. Let's get another hat on this stack. Let's go. Let's go. You know, faux show. I got it on there. Easy peasy. Thank you so much, Aaron. I like it because it helps me read the code, really. I find, for me personally, I find it distracting to me. I don't like it. I personally don't like it. But it's to each their own, right? So I grew up writing C. C was my main language for a long time. And so that's sort of what I like, the way C does it. And I wrote Java a lot. So I tend to like curly braces. Just got done implementing a working hotbar. Nice. Is Gary, but his mom had a Eastern European accent and couldn't say Gary and pronounced it Getty. Interesting. I did not know that. Also, Ace, welcome back. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Which command? Rod Ion. Rod, what command? Coat. Yeah, I don't have a coat command. The lamp. JD, you're almost there. Just a few more points. Just a few more points. You'll get there. I promise. I promise. Given enough time, you'll get there. Okay, so we have this Q. We have our DQ there. Spawn it is going to be the interesting part that we have to figure out. Okay. The way I get around it is by spacing things out. It works for me. Whenever I would use curly brace, I just use a space. I think the accidents that come without curly brace are more often than the accidents come without curly brace. So if you don't have curly braces, I think it's easy to make a mistake. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm a big fan of curly braces. In queue is what your brain wants here. In queue, ENQ here. Your brain wants this. That's funny. Curly braces are better than spaces. So DQ or DQ is what my brain wants here. I'm having a whole wild day. I have to do some writing, some concept art, some production planning at work so far today. So I'm taking a break now, enjoying that break. I hope you're enjoying that break. Sounds like a busy day. Let's see. Do we build? We build. Ooh, did I get all my types and stuff right? Okay, there's no warnings about types. I got them all in there. Okay. So something I think I want to do is in my spawn entry. I think I want to put the code for spawning in here, function spawn. And you could potentially there is no overriding in GD script. You can't have virtual methods. Can you? Can you do overloaded methods? I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure that there's no such thing as virtual methods in Godot. No, there's not. You can do shadowing, but there's no virtual methods. Yeah, that's called shadowing. It's not overloading. It's not overloading. It's shadowing. I looked into this the other day because I was having some weird behavior. Godot. Virtual methods. I don't think you can write virtual methods. There happen to be a few things that have virtual methods. Yeah, there are no virtual methods. So I thought this was really interesting. Yeah, Godot provides specific methods you can do, but you can't provide your own. So you can do what's called shadowing, where you provide a method with the same name and you end up calling that instead. Well, that's so yeah, Godot node class, and you can't actually override a function. It ends up being shadowed. That's right. I ran into this weird behavior the other day. So it's not actually overriding the function. Well, Well, that's called isn't that called shadowing though? Because you're not actually, anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I want to have a function here called spawn, and spawn is actually going to take in a vector2 position, and this is where it actually ends up spawning it void like this. So for now, I'll do a pass. The reason I want to do this here is so that way in my spawn behavior, I can go ahead and pass this in here and write a little quick test for us here. The actual spawn itself is going to be the position of its owner. Yeah. So spawn it will be next entry dot spawn at owner dot global position. Ooh, that's interesting that I can't say that. I can, but it's not pulling off the type here. It doesn't know, which is fine. I can do a on ready spawn point vector2. And I could spawn point here. We could call this. So I'll show you in just a second, Ace. I'll show you in just a second what the distinction would be. It has to do with the parent calling the subclass's method. The parent is not able to call the method on itself that is defined in its subclass. And I'll show you the example. I was like, oh, that's super weird. I just assumed everything was overriding. I'll show you in a second. For the most part, shadowing is fine. It can't, and I'll show you. It ends up calling its own method. So the spawn point here is actually going to be a node 2D. Do owner like this. Hang on. Oh, I've got to put a bear here. Yeah, I ran into this weird behavior and I was like, what's going on here? And then I found out you can't, there's no overriding doesn't actually happen. It's all shadowed. Now this would be spawn point dot global position. There we go. So now our types are okay. So if I were to do the following, say I have some method here, function overload me like this, does, the pass does stuff like this. So if my spawn method calls self.overload me, it will always call this one. It won't call, if I create a subclass of spawn entry that has overload me, even if I don't do
Our dopamine. Oh,
I want to call the subclass. I want to call the version that is implemented beneath me. This does not work. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. Yeah, and so there's no way to do this. There's no way to do it this way. So if I call overload me, this will actually call this method here. So a virtual function would call the subclass method. So you can get around this, right? It's just that Godot does not have dynamic dispatch. That's basically what you have to realize. Godot doesn't have dynamic dispatch on their normal functions. Rhode Iron, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a beautiful day. Keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. We'll see you next time. Have a beautiful day. Yeah, so you can make things like this work. It's just you can't do it this way. This is a very object-oriented way to do some stuff. All right, so we'll do a print spawning at. Okay, so now this resource, I can make subclasses of this, and I'm pretty sure if I create a new spawn, it calls the subclass spawn. Let's try it here. Print spawn entry dot spawn. Let me create because I want to have different types of spawn entries here. So like singles, groups. Yeah, it's a little bit, that's not what I want. Can I not duplicate that way? Spawn entry, single nean, a single spawn entry like this. Let's have this extend spawn entry, single spawn entry, and we'll call this single spawn entry. Ooh, why can't I extend spawn entry? Oh, because I'm not editing the right thing. Hang on. Spawn entry. So for what it's worth, this isn't going to come up all that often. Okay. No, you can put it in any order. The recommend order is this. This is what the style guide. It doesn't matter. Their style guide suggests putting class name first. Yeah. Zaf, let's check it out. I wonder if I can create the contrived situation that I was in before. This is an Imgur link, so I gotta be careful. So Zaft, so this is what Zaft has for us. And you create a sub, so you have two classes. You have a class that extends this, and it prints out the message that's in the subclasses. It doesn't do push warning here, is what you're saying. I'm a novice, and some of those terms are still confused. That's okay. That's how we, being confused about something and trying to understand it and getting explanations is a great way to learn. Say, I don't understand this. I expect this, but I want to do more. Oh, sorry, Tater Games, I missed it. So this terminology question has vexed me. I've always thought of elements passed to functions as arguments. Are they called overloads? No, those are called, so there's two terms for it. Sorry. Overload is related to the name. Your int x and your stir y are called parameters, and then the actual values are called arguments, and arguments and parameters are used interchangeably. So this is position is called a parameter. And then if I have another thing that calls spawn new vector 25, this, or I guess it would just be vector 25 in this, I'm not sure. Let's do vector 2. So there's a couple things here. Position is the parameter. Vector 25 is the argument. And spawn is the function. This is the function call. So I hope that terminology helps. Yeah. Tater Games, did that answer your question? Yeah, so I'll show you what overload is doing. I have two classes here. Can I open up these side by side? Can I open things side by side in here? It doesn't look like I can. Does anyone know if I can split this and have it side by side? Let me show you what overload means. I have a class called spawn entry. It has a method called spawn. I want to create a different version of this that spawn does something different. So I create a new class that extends spawn entry. And it still has spawn. It has all the same things, but it does something different. It overrides this method. It extends it, overrides it. Overload is actually I'm saying the wrong thing for overload. Overload is when you say And then speed. Let's do something like speed. Overload. Overloaded. Overload is when you have a different method, the same method name, but different arguments. That's what overload is. Sorry, I described the wrong thing. So overload is when you have the same method name, but a different set of parameters, so different arguments. The biggest problem with programming is that we have to come up with all these words for imaginary things that aren't real. This is true. This is very true, Ace. 100%. 100%. Tater, did that answer your question? So overloading a method is when you have the same name with different values. Okay. Zaft, I'm going to try it. I'm going to write it and see what happens. I'm going to try. I'm going to do it myself here. Describe the thing that was had already been defined. So different programming languages will often use different terminology for the same thing. That is true as well. Don't do that as far as I know. It's probably because, are you using C with Arduino or are you using like Lua? What programming language are you using? I wanted to test this out. Single spawn entry. We want to have an export. This is going to have to be a packed scene. This is going to be our var enemy packed scene, I believe. So I can put in, I'll say this is going to be our delay. This needs to be an export as well. And delay by default will be 0, no delay. So it just spawns them as fast as possible. Okay. Let's see if we can create one of these resources now. I'm learning C# because I'm working on tweaks to do code between, borrowed from Duke's Donuts. Gotcha. Sort of. I'm having a little trouble wrapping my brain around the concept because things like Arduino coding simply don't do that as far as I know. You're using C++. I haven't done enough C++ to know what the generic rules are for overloading. I do know in C, when you're doing embedded systems, this is what I was thinking of C, in embedded systems, overloading, when it compiles down to the assembly, it's just not supported because basically when you compile things down, you create a spot in memory that is labeled with that name. And when you have multiple arguments, some of the compilers for those embedded systems don't support it. It might be overloading templates, which I'm not familiar with. That's a good question. Tater Game, do you know if it's related to templates? I'm going to create in our enemies here, in our Neanderthal, let's create a resource. And it's going to be a single spawn entry. All right, we're going to call this single Neanderthal spawn. Dukasoft! It's great to see you, my friend. I missed your stream yesterday. Folks, did you guys know Dukasoft had their first stream ever yesterday? I came and you had just ended. I could still see the chat and it had just ended. I was so sad. Folks, see this little heart right here? See that heart? Go give Dukasoft some love. Longtime friend of the channel, incredible human being, amazing human. Click that heart. Click it harder. There we go. Dukasoft, how the heck was your stream? Tell us all about it. What did you work on? Yeah, push join. Overloaded function, it just means a function with the same name with different arguments. That's right. On some embedded systems, when you compile, you can't do that. Beergan, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a beautiful day. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. We'll be streaming over on Godot Engine Official tomorrow. So be sure to keep an eye out for Godot Engine Official. If you're not following Godot Engine Official yet, be sure to follow them. Be sure to follow them. That's where I'll be. So you're going to be there or be a square. No one wants to be a square. So our single spawn entry here, we're going to actually instantiate. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I always forget. Let's go look at our projectile code here. Does our projectile have the spawn in it? No. There's the player shooting. All right, projectile, go away. I deleted the wrong thing. That's okay. Our player turret behavior is where we did our spawn before. Okay, fire. So we're going to do something kind of like this. Instantiate, rotation, blah, 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 get first node, add child. Okay, we're going to create it in this way. Let's come over to our single spawn entry. Rather than be our projectile, it's going to be our spawned. Rather than be a projectile, I don't know what to make the type of this thing. I know it's going to be a node 2D at least. 2D. Colkis, it's great to see you. How have you been? It's been a while. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome in. Duca says, it was a 30-ish minute drone video. Very cool. DJI Mini 4 Pro. So were you streaming from your drone? That's super cool. Most embedded stuff uses C for that reason, yeah. MIPS is nice too, depends on the chip. I've done most of my assembly stuff when I've learned about it in MIPS. That said, I've done a lot of embedded system stuff where we had to go directly into assembly, depending on the chipset it was. And so I've done a little bit with Intel chipset. It was a 32-bit chipset, not the 64-bit one. Okay. Node 2D, the spawn global position is going to be the position that's coming in. Maybe I should call it global position. Melting in the NC heat. How are things going here, Colchis? We're doing good. Let's see what temperature it is here. What temperature do I got local? We are at 82 degrees. It's going to get up to 105. So we're 82F local, which happens to be, what's 82 F to C? 27.7 Celsius here. That's the current temperature where I am at. It's supposed to get up to 105 F to C. So it's going to get up to 40. So 105 F. This is the high today. C. So I'll be inside most of it. Anything above 40 F is not human. 40 F? You say, or 40 F is, 50 F is pretty cold. The chance after the Unity tax controversy and became so popular. Emo Giraffe, it is pretty popular these days. That said, I've done most of my work in Unity, and I do, for what it's worth, I enjoy using Unity. I know people are going to be upset. I mean, we're calling this enemy manager. So we need to create an enemy manager. Ooh, what's in? This is interesting. Oh, this should be, sorry, this should just be enemy dot instantiate. Okay. I'm surprised this one's showing us. Let's get another hat on the stack. Dukasoft, let's go. Let's go with the hat. Here we go. Boom. Thank you for the hat, Redeem. We're getting in there. Get that hat stack going. Yeah, humidity here. I live in the desert, so it's pretty nice and cool. 104 in American weirdo units. That's right. I miss 30C plus temperatures, but even mid-20s is pretty warm in Stockholm. 90% sounds horrible. 90% sounds terrible. Yeah. I declare thing int x stir y. If I go back and redeclare it as thing float w char z, the second action would be an overload. So taters, let me ask you a question. In your implementation, do you have both of those? Are both of those definitions in the code at the same time? Or did you change it so that it is just that new thing? If you just change it, it's not overloading. It's only an overload if you have both. So yes, so then they are overloaded. So the method name has two ways to call it. That means it's overloaded. Yeah, so that would be called overloaded. What are you complaining about? Get tree not found in base self. Oh, this is interesting. You cannot use get tree from a resource. Okay. So then I need to, what I'll do then is I'll have this pass in a node 2D for our position. And I can do position.getTree this way. And this can be .global position. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. The function doesn't match the parent signature. So this tells me that overloading is going on here. If you really want main loop and is static, now I'm just going to pass it in. We're not going to do. We're going to try not to do anything tricky. Try not to do anything tricky. So now there's going to be an error in my spawner. Okay, my spawner behavior should now just take in my spawn point like that. And what's interesting is our spawn point, I'm not going to get too crazy. As we have like a spawn area where it randomly selects a spot inside the spawn area as well. Yeah. It's rise, rose, risen, not rise, rised, rizzed. Rise, it will rise, it rose, and has risen. Yeah, so those seem right to me. Unless you're talking about the flower, in which case it's just rose. Okay, let's keep going here. Spawn entry, okay. Single spawn entry, I want to be able to spawn these things in. Let's try it. So let's go down into our single Neanderthal spawn. Our inspector has nothing or is broken. Hang on, do I have errors still? So once I have the second declaration, I can call this thing with X, Y after that point. You can call them either way, yeah. So you're able to call it either way. And the compiler should be able to determine which one you want to call based on the type. So it's statically typed based on, if you give it an X that is an integer and a string that is a Y, it'll be able to figure it out. Exactly. The compiler will be able to figure it out because of the types. Why? Let's try creating another one of these. What did I do? Resource. Single Neanderthal spawn. Okay. Why don't my export values show up here? I'm a little bit confused by that. Hang on, we have what's going on? Hang on. Why isn't it? Okay, double clicked, resource, load path. That's so weird. Jacob, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Welcome in. I'm having a little bit of an issue here. Thank you so much, Kitten. I appreciate it, Fat Man and Nickname. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing those cheap viewers. We only have quality viewers here, though. All these beautiful people here are the quality viewers. Thank you so much for suggesting that for us, though. Welcome into the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. What is... Waking up, I'm all the cheap viewers we need. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Jacob. Well, it also, here's the weird part, Zaft, is that it extends spawn entry. Spawn entry has just a float. So the fact that I don't have the float here is weird. Yeah, it's super weird. What is going on with that? Let's create a new resource spawn entry. That one gets the delay. So there's something with the extension test. This one has it. That is interesting. Can I not? Shouldn't I inherit that? And I swear I've done the patch scene in there as well. That is interesting. All right, let's try something here. Is there a global flag? Does it have to be? I don't, what would global do? Maybe I don't understand what global does. Export var test float. There it is. What the heck? There it goes. Did I not hit save? Was this just an unsaved value? Weird. Weird. I must not have hit save. That makes very little sense to me because it's been there the whole time. Anyway, we got it. We got it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add in the Neanderthal here. Like that. VARP. I don't know what VARP is. 0.05 on our delay like this. Figure out the camera layers in Star Holler. Let's go. The 3D stars will now render behind the 2D scene. Boom. Shaka laka. Laka laka. Shaka boom, Lance. Nice work. Okay, can we get this to actually spawn now? So there's a little bit... can we do this? I'm curious that I could actually set up my in-queue stack to start out. I want to try it. I want to try it. Our Neanderthal super... This is going to be interesting. All right, we're going to our 2D. Let's go to our arena. And let's add... We need to add in a node 2D. That's going to be our enemy manager. And we need to put it in the group. Enemy manager. And we need to make sure... I need to add... Hang on. Confused. Enemy manager. I want this to be in this group. Okay, there we go. There we go. Don't think I need anything else. Let's go ahead and add in a spawner. I don't have access to this from here. This is where I was like, it might make sense to put it on the top level here. Let's go into our spawner, our spawn behavior. I'm just going to give it some default things. Let's go ahead and put, it's our in-queue stack. Let's give it 10 things. That's going to be 2 minutes. Give it 1 thing. 2 things, perfect. We'll drag in our single Neanderthal spawn here. So we should end up in our arena spawning in 2 Neanderthals. There we go. There we go. And so now we'll just add a reference to that thing and we'll be able to add more things to it. All right. And if I put a delay on them, let's add a little bit of a delay to our Neanderthal. Spawn here. Single Neanderthal. If we say give it 5 seconds, it should get one, and then 5 seconds later, we'll get another one. There we go. All right, we got it. Success. Success for a queue. We got a little spawner going. We could potentially, now the idea is we're able to passing a delayed Neanderthal hue. Exactly. Exactly. All right, folks, I'm still a little bit sick. I'm still recovering. Oh, no, we just lost a hat. Did we lose? How many hats did we lose? A couple hats fell off. We lost 2 hats fell off there. It's 200 points, folks. Points at all. 200 points, 100 points for each hat that popped off there unintentionally. We are going to wrap up for the day. We had one crash earlier, which was a little bit disappointing. Lost a big chunk of our lurkers, but that's all right. We will be back tomorrow streaming on Godot Engine Official. So yeah, I had COVID. Still recovering. Still got a little bit of stuff in here, so I'm going to save my voice. We're going to wrap up. We'll be on Godot Engine Official tomorrow. So be sure to go follow them, check them out. Shout out Godot Engine Official. I'll be streaming over there, so I'm super excited to be there. We need 12 minutes. I won't be able to give him a shout out. That's okay. Be sure to give him a follow. I've been feeling much better the last couple days. It hit me on, it's been a week since I tested positive for it. I was supposed to go on a vacation, a major bummer here, but we're going to find someone to raid out to. I think we're going to go raid out to Jackie Codes, folks. We're going to go raid Jackie Codes, or, ooh, Jackie Codes or Beegs. Who do we want? Jackie Codes or Beegs? Beegs is doing, I think they're both doing the game jam. I haven't raided Beegs in a while. All right, so do we want Beegs jamming a team jam for the first time? Get some restroom cleaner while we'll do a lot of, we'll get plenty of water here. So we're gonna do Jackie Codes. We want Godot with Jackie Codes. I think she's doing Pirate Jam as well. Or we can do Beegs. Beegs been going for 7 hours. We're gonna do Jackie. Beegs been going for a long time, so I don't want it to run into an issue there. We're gonna Jackie Codes, major friend of the channel. Give her some love, folks. Or do we want to do Beegs? Goobs, same Beegs. Yeah, his stream's been going for a while. We're gonna raid Jackie Codes, everybody. Be sure to give her some love. If you're not following Jackie Codes, you gotta follow her. Incredible streamer, incredible Godoer. She's gonna be releasing a Udemy course pretty soon on Godot. Give her some love if you don't already follow her. She's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. I will see you tomorrow over at Godot Engine Official. Bye-bye.